Hey there, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be discussing the thriller film Anacondas, A Hunt for the Blood Orchid. Spoilers ahead, so watch out. The group of researchers gathered at a pharmaceutical corporation in New York City to explore new sorts of drugs. Jack Byron introduces a rare flower known as Pernia immortalis, also known as the blood orchid, which they believe can be used to help people live longer. The flower is only found in a jungle in Borneo, and blooms only once every 7 years for only 6 months. The researchers realize that this could be the biggest medical discovery in history, and decided to travel to Borneo to collect samples. Despite the rainy season, Jack Gordon, Sam Gale Cole, and Ben arrive in Borneo, and decide to continue on their journey in search of a boat to take them upriver. They go to a local bar to meet with a man named Jin, who soon turns out to be an American named Bill Johnson, who demands 50 grand to take them upriver during the rainy season. The team has no other option, so they agree that the boat is not in the best condition. Nonetheless, they continue on their journey deep into the jungle, and Gail believes she has been attacked by an animal. However, we discover that it is only Bill's monkey Kong. That night, while the group is eating dinner, Kong tries to reach for some fruit on a tree, and fails to jump back into the boat. The creature chases after the monkey, and Kong tries to hide. However, we discover that it is a huge anaconda. The next morning, Bill can't find Kong. Gail tries to get reception on her satellite phone and falls out of the boat. Everyone laughs, and tries to get her to swim back to the boat, but a crocodile attacks her, and Bill jumps in the water to save her. Gail swims back to the boat while Bill battles the creature. He stabs the crocodile many times and saves himself, but suddenly Kong jumps into the boat screaming in fear. The next day, Bill's partner Wu notices that the river is flooded, and they can't see the banks. The boat's rudders become jammed, and Bill tries unsuccessfully to fix them. As the current becomes too strong, they miss their turn off, and the boat is pulled towards a waterfall, where the team holds on tight. Everyone swims up to the rocks, and when they start to fear, Bill tells them about Livingston, a buddy who runs a boat nearby, but they have to wade through the jungle to get to him. When they arrive at a large swamp, they decide to walk across it to save time. Kong tries to warn them about a passing huge anaconda, but they ignore his pleas. Sam and Cole notice something in the water, but they keep on moving. Suddenly Ben disappears, and a giant snake comes from the water and swallows him whole, but the rest of the team escapes from this swamp. Bill assures them that anacondas are territorial, and that there won't be another one for miles, and that it will take weeks for it to grow hungry again. Gail demands that the expedition be called off, but Jack and Gordon are determined to go to that flower, because it would make them rich. In the meantime, a large anaconda attacks Livingston on his boat, and the team discovers him dead and his boat wrecked. They search the wreckage and find a few useful items later on, but they later discover Livingston's body, and Bill says that it could be mating season, so they should expect more anacondas. They arrive at a native village that has been ravaged. They find a disemboweled anaconda with a pair of human legs hanging out of the snake's abdomen. They notice that this anaconda is much larger than the one they last saw later that night. They decide to build a raft using supplies found at the village. The team realizes that the snake's lives have been extended through the blood orchids that are part of the food chain, and Jack. Gordon advises they leave right now, and return in 7 years, but Jack is desperate to get to that flower, so he tries to assert power over the others, but they refuse. When Gordon discovers Livingston's radio and gun in Jack's bag, he realizes they could have called for help a long time ago. When he is unable to persuade him to continue the expedition, he releases the venomous spider on him, which bites him and causes him to scream in pain. Gordon tries to call for help, but his body quickly paralyzes him. Jack joins the others on the raft, but Sam is suspicious of his actions. She discovers Gordon paralyzed and notices the spider bite just as Anaconda appears above the beams, and Gordon tries to warn her, but is unable to do so. Just as Sam runs out, the anaconda drops down from the beams and swallows Gordon alive. Bill sets the building on fire in the hopes of killing the anaconda. When they return to the raft, they find that Jack has stolen the raft. To go after the orchids with no more material to make another raft, they hack through the jungle to beat Jack to the orchids, and retrieve their raft on the way. On the way, they try to escape from an anaconda, and fall into a cave filled with water. After finding a skeleton, Cole panics and runs into Wu, who gets taken under the water. Cole tries to find him, but an anaconda attacks and eats him. Bill tries to find them, but also discovers Wu's lost flashlight floating in the water with his blood surrounding it. Cole gets stuck after the others exit the cave. Just as they pull him out, the snake appears, and Sam uses a machete to behead it, but another snake captures Cole soon after. The team follows, and finds him constricted, but still alive. Bill throws his knife, and impales the snake through the head, killing it. And freeing Cole. The others find him and try to get to the raft before he sees them. But Jack arrives and shoots Bill in the arm, forcing the party to accompany him to the orchids. They see that the flowers are hanging precariously above a pit in which a ball of male anacondas is mating with the queen, so he forces Sam to cross the pit via a thin log to fill it back. Bill and Jack fight, and Jack drops the bag. He sees the backpack and goes to retrieve it, but the spider he used to paralyze Gordon escapes from its jar and bites him, paralyzing him. He drops the flowers and falls into the pit, where the anacondas devour him. Meanwhile, Sam tries to get across the log, but it breaks, and she falls halfway down the pit hanging by her leg. Finally, the film comes to a close.